A quiet street of Victorian mansions in Torquay. In the garden of one of them, two lamp-posts, which at one time lit a station platform on the former London and South Western Railway network, and then, on a wall nearby, a third lamp, saved from the demolition of Wilstone and Bridge Rule Station, which is on the branch line between Bude and Halwill Junction. And here, photographed in 1985, is the station in question, serving Bridge Rule in Devon and nearby Wilstone over the border in Cornwall. And here it is, filmed from the same spot almost 40 years later. We're almost 223 miles from London Waterloo, give or take a chain or two, on the bridge from where those two photos were taken. The line on either side of here was single track, but in the station itself there was a passing loop controlled by a signal box. Although there had been plans to build a railway to Bude in 1865 and 1883, it wasn't until 1895 that work started connecting the resort to the railhead at Holsworthy. The line took 3 years to build, opening in September 1898. The station here at Wilstone and Bridge Rule saw its first passengers 2 months later. There was a ticket office here and a waiting room, with a small shelter over there on the up platform. In the station yard there were sidings and a goods shed, the remains of which can be seen here. And here we are on the down platform looking towards Holsworthy. But before we head in that direction, let's go back to the terminus of the line, 5.5 miles further on in Bude. Much of this section of the line has disappeared under farmland. The Town Museum in Bude has a fine collection of railway artefacts, including the token which controlled the single line between here and Wilstone and Bridge Rule. There's nothing left of the stone-built station now. At one time on this site there were 2 platforms, an engine shed, signal box and refreshment room, along with a station master's house. Bude Station was deliberately sited on the outskirts of the town in order to please the residents of nearby Stratton, which at the time had a larger population. Back to the branch line now, and we're approaching Holsworthy and crossing Derriton Viaduct. It's one of the earliest bridges to be built using shuttered concrete. It has 9 arches, each with a 50-foot span. It carried the single-track railway at a maximum height of 92 feet above the valley floor. Across the road now and into the site of Holsworthy Station. When I came here in 1985, there was still a station building at the end of Station Road, but today there's a supermarket on the site. In 1873, when plans for a line through Oakhampton to Plymouth were proposed, a western extension as far as Holsworthy was in the scheme, and work started the following year. This rail, which would have supported a sign at one time, is the only trace of the railway I could find, and there's still a bit of southern green paint on it. But as in Bude, the Town Museum shows us more of the railway history. Trains had reached Holsworthy from Oakhampton in January 1879, with Bude served by a horse bus until the line was extended in 1898. One of Oliver Bulleid's West Country engines that worked the line was named after the town, and the council now owns the nameplate. So as we head towards Oakhampton and Halwill Junction, we cross the Lanson Road. Holsworthy's second viaduct soon comes into view. This is Coles Mill Viaduct, now overgrown and inaccessible. It's made of local stone and stands 90 feet above the valley floor. It's hoped one day that it might be reopened and used as part of the Ruby Way cycle track, which we can see here as we approach the road crossing at Anvil Corner. Here there's a memorial to an RAF crew killed when their plane crashed in a neighbouring field in 1944. The next station is at Dunsland Cross, where children attending the nearby Shebbeare College used to alight from the train. There was a passing place here controlled by a signal box. There was a simple shelter on the up platform, while on the downside there was a cattle pen, a goods shed and a siding. The main station building had a ticket office and a waiting room. The ticket office window still exists. And outside there's an original Edward VII postbox. South of Dunsland Cross, the railway passes through Holsworthy Forest. Much of it is now a footpath through a nature reserve. In 1923, the Bude branch line became part of the Southern Railway, and in 1948, British Railway's Southern Region. Trains were never very frequent. Most were local trains dividing from the Padstow service at Halwill Junction, although there were several trains that ran through carriages from London Waterloo, the most famous of which was the Atlantic Coast Express. In 1963, the branch became part of Western Region. Through trains from Waterloo stopped and diesel multiple unit trains were introduced. Passenger numbers have been falling for years with poor connections and infrequent trains doing little to encourage use. So, in October 1966, the branch line to Bude fell victim to the beaching axe. This fireplace from a plate layer's hut is one of the few reminders there was ever a railway here. As we approach Halwill Junction, there is still a platform under those trees over there that probably served the Torrington trains. The site of Halwill Junction station is now a housing estate. Here trains from Bude connected with services from Padstow, Wilstone and Torrington, with onward journeys to Oakhampton, Exeter and London Waterloo. In 1985 some station buildings still remained, but today there are few signs there was ever a railway here. The Junction Inn is still serving customers across the road, and the street names are reminders of a railway past. If you want to continue your journey to Oakhampton, you can do that by watching my video on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe.